Let's take a look at our 2 steps here of photosynthesis. We just signed slide 1 saying we are going to pay attention. So good, Miss Culp. And we're going to look at slide 2. Everybody go to slide 2. On slide 2, we are focusing on just our first step that we saw yesterday. The light-dependent reactions take place in a specific location inside of our chloroplast. Can you remind me, how do we say that big word that starts with T, Dulcie? How do I say it? Thylakoid. You got it. Hey, guys, everybody right now, I want you to circle the thylakoids or square them, whatever. You do you. And I got to ask you, what's in those thylakoids? What's in that stack of discs that allows the light to be absorbed in the light-dependent reactions? Mason, what's in there, honey? Chlorophyll. Very good. That's right, the word chlorophyll. Hey, everybody, this is how you spell it. Chloro. Please write Phil and not chloroform. There's chlorophyll. Guys, chlorophyll is a pigment that absorbs sunlight, and thank goodness it does, because we need that for step 1. Guys, we're done with slide 2. Go to slide 3. On slide 3, it's going to say, hey, that chlorophyll he just mentioned, that's what's in those thylakoids, right? In order to capture the energy from the sun. So remind me, again, what is the source of energy for step 1? Lorelai, where's the energy coming to power this first reaction? From the light. So let's do this. Can you go to your little shape tool, make me an arrow, and I want you to point to light. We need light in this step because it's basically like powering our step 1 of photosynthesis. Okay. When you click on that little circle on the left, that gives you a little shape. You could draw it too. I don't really care. Okay, so we're going to use light in the light-dependent reactions. Well, that just makes sense. The question is, what are we going to use that light for? Everybody, once you give me an arrow, go to slide 4, please. You're going to see, again, that same term, light reactions or light-dependent reactions, same thing, different names for step 1 of photosynthesis. We already said, Lorelai told us that light is our energy source here. And we're going to use that light, put a little star next to it, in order to do something. Guys, when we use the light to power kind of this reaction, we're going to ultimately split something. What are we splitting, Jayla, in this step that's going to help us? We're splitting water. Let's underline water. Darling angels, in the process of splitting water, we have H+ ions released that are ultimately going to create a concentration gradient, move through ATP synthase, and make me something to power step 2. Can I ask you, Jamie, what am I going to make in this step that provides energy for the second step? What am I producing in this first step that's going to make energy for step 2? What energy molecule? All right, let's look at the statement right here, Jamie. It says produces what? Which one of those is my energy molecule? You got it. Everybody right now, let's circle ATP right here. Then we're going to send to step 2. And I'm going to circle it right here so we remember, oh yeah, Miss Culp's right. Now, that's not the only thing I'm going to send to the next step. Can you remind me, Bianca, what's the other thing I'm sending over to the Calvin cycle, aka step 2? I split water. In the process of splitting water, I made a couple things. One is ATP. What else am I sending to the next step? Oh, she remembered the P in there. NADPH. Let's circle those. Again, that's like kind of like high energy molecules here. The electrons, woo, got some energy. ATP, we definitely know, is an energy-rich molecule. Let's go to slide 5. So we know that those things are being sent to this second step, the Calvin cycle. Where are we again when we talk about step 1, though? What's our location? Where are we in this plant cell? Shea. Well, I love that. She didn't just say chloroplast, which is correct, but she said specifically we are in the thylakoid membrane. So I'm going to write thylakoids right here. Thylakoids. And then I'm going to write membrane in parentheses because don't forget, we're right like on that edge from where the thylakoid is to the stroma. Okay, so we're in the thylakoid. Love it. Remember that green thylakoid is full of green chlorophyll to help absorb that sunlight. We love that because that's going to help us power this reaction, ultimately split water, and in the process, we're releasing something. Can you remind me again, Roman, what gas do plants create in this step? Excellent. There it is right there. We're making oxygen. Okay. So we know we're in the thylakoids. Let's look at this one more time. Go to slide 6. Slide 6 says, again, people, light reactions, light-dependent reactions, same thing. And ultimately, what's happening here? We are going to split water. And in the process of splitting water, H plus ions are released. Those H plus ions are ultimately going to move through ATP synthase, spin, make ATP. The electrons are going to travel down an electron transport chain and help us kind of complete this process by making NADPH, which is the bus driver of electrons that we're sending to step 2, right? So let's look at this equation. What goes in, what comes out. I want you right now to show me what's something that goes into the light reactions. Can you tell me, Dulcie, something that goes in? Oh, there's the water. There it is. Tell me something else, Maddie, that I need for this reaction. Oh, there's light. Great. There's a product that we make that leaves. Like it's gone. Like, great, we made it. It's piecing out. What am I making, Mackenzie, in this first stage that I'm releasing? No, you are correct that I'm making ATP. You're so right. But I'm actually going to keep that going because I'm going to send it to step 2. What am I making here that I'm just like, okay, see ya. You can leave the plant. Again, I'm making that, sending the step to 2. You're so right, honey. It's just not what I'm releasing. What's the other thing? You got it. I'm releasing oxygen. Everybody that circle that sucker. I am making oxygen, but that's the only one that I'm like, okay, you could leave. I'm not saying plants don't use oxygen because they do respiration as well, but I am saying that they can release that through their stomata, those holes. Okay, let's focus on those other 2 things real quick. She also mentioned there's 2 other products that I'm making that I'm sending to the second step. ATP and NADPH, don't forget those. But look how the arrow is pointing to step 2. Okay, go to slide 7. Again, we're thinking equation here before we move to step 2. I want everyone right now to make me a little star. Any color, doesn't matter. And I want you to star which of the 2 steps of photosynthesis, thank goodness, there's only 2 steps, which one is where oxygen is made? The light-dependent reactions, the light-independent reactions. Sophia, which one actually makes oxygen for us? The light-dependent or light-independent? Oh, look right here, guys. She told me this first one is where I actually make oxygen. And that's so true because oxygen is not really the reason I'm doing photosynthesis, which is why I have to keep going. So then I said, I want you to circle the 2 reactants. What did we just say are reactants in this process? Jack, what are 2 reactants in the light reactions? So what does reactant mean? Goes in or comes out? Great. So Jack said, actually, I'm going to say light and water reactants because those are reactants in the sense that they go in and they react, right? We need them. Excellent. Okay, go to slide 8. On slide 8, we're looking at the big picture again before we move on. We are looking at the left side, light dependent. We need light. We need water. And I said, draw me a square around the 2 products that I make in the light dependent reactions that ultimately get sent to step 2. So again, for the 5th time, Shea, what am I making in step 1 that I'm going to just send to step 2? Amazing. Right now, either draw me a square or you can go to this little shape tool and you can do this and make it transparent. It doesn't matter. Guys, Shea told me I'm making ATP, an energy-rich molecule for our cell. And NADPH, whoo, that's the bus driver of electrons. And now let's piece this together and figure out what is happening that connects these 2 stages. So everybody go to slide 9. On slide 9, you're going to see 3 different names for the exact same thing. Everybody, let's underline them. Let's underline dark reactions. I'm going to go with blue. You do whatever color you want. Guys, dark reactions does not mean that it happens in the dark. It can. It just means that it doesn't have to, right? It just can happen without light. The Calvin cycle. Why do you guys think they called it the Calvin cycle? Probably because some dude named Calvin figured this out. And the last one, light independent reactions. People. If you were going to say, Miss Culp, you are such an independent woman. You don't need no man, right? I don't need my stupid husband. Independent means you don't rely on something. You don't need it. So instead of light dependent, now we're saying light independent. Amazing. Hey guys, look at this picture of the Calvin cycle, the dark reactions, the light independent reactions, all the same thing. Whoa. You see all those big words, right? Oh, look at that. Look at that. You don't have to underline them. Look at all these big things. Do you remember, just like when we talked about, oh, shucks. What was that cycle that was in cellular respiration? It wasn't the Calvin cycle. What was it called? Amelia? Excellent. It's called the Krebs cycle, or what was the other fancy name? Do you remember, Sophia? Amazing. Citric acid or Krebs are in cellular respiration. Do you remember how there were all those intermediates? And I said, you don't have to memorize all those, right? We know that there's processes happen, there's conversions, there's different reactions here, and something goes in and something comes out. We're looking at big picture. We're looking at big picture. Again, you don't have to memorize all these little intermediates, but you do need to know that we're ultimately going to be converting something into something else using what we have as reactants here. So let's go to slide 10. Guys, where the heck are we? Are we still in the chloroplast when we do this? Yes or no? Are we still in the chloroplast? Yes, we are. This is a chloroplast. And there's two parts that we mentioned yesterday. One is that green sack of discs that you guys called the thylakoids. Where are we now? Look at step 2. Look at the Calvin cycle. What do you call this location, Shea? She said that perfectly. That's right, stroma. Everybody right here on my sticky note, I want you to type for me stroma. Guys, the stroma is the name for the liquid, the fluid that fills up my chloroplast. This fluid is very different from the thylakoids in that it's missing something. Why is it not green? What doesn't it have? What doesn't it have, Maddie? No chlorophyll. And if it doesn't have chlorophyll, what can't it do? Dulcie. It can't absorb light. That's why they call it the dark reactions or light independent. We don't have chlorophyll. We can't absorb some light. Everybody go to slide 11. So again, 3 different names for the exact same thing. Light independent reactions. Requires no light. We're in the stroma. So what do? We need energy, right? You have to have energy in order for reactions to take place. We need energy to power this. So where's the energy going to come from? Where is the energy coming from to power this reaction if I don't have sunlight? What do you think, Fiona? It's coming full circle. Listen to what Fiona just told you. She said that the ATP that I just made, everybody circle this, from the light reactions is going to power this reaction. I want you to circle ATP and I want you to connect it to this word energy. Because remember, we're talking about an energy-rich molecule there. What other thing did I just make in the light reactions that's going to help me to accomplish the dark reactions? What other product, Mackenzie? NADPH, that electron carrier. Everybody connect NADPH to where it says the electrons. So you can see that the Kelvin cycle, guys, look at your picture, is going to use the energy from ATP. And what's it going to send back to step 1 to like reuse and recharge? Bianca, what am I left with when I take the energy out of ATP? ADP. So everybody draw me an arrow going back to step 1 over ADP. We're sending that back. We took a phosphate off. Here's your dead battery. Go charge it. And just like how NAD plus becomes NADH, NADP plus becomes NADH. And then when you get those electrons off, guess what? We're going to send NADP plus back. Draw me an arrow, sending it backwards. Go to slide 12. So remind me, again, this is a multiple choice question. Slide 12 says, y'all, the light independent reactions, the Calvin cycle, the dark reactions, they need energy to occur. And I want to know from where. Tell me, Jayla, where is the energy coming from to power the Calvin cycle? So question, this is in the stroma, right? So we have no chlorophyll. She said ATP. So again, we don't have the option for sunlight simply because we're no longer in the thylakoids where we have chlorophyll. We have to use, Jayla told us, ATP. That's what we just made in step 1. And thank goodness we did. So you might say, well, Miss Cole, then can't plants do photosynthesis in the dark since, the second step doesn't need it? Sure, the second step doesn't need it. But remember how I showed you the video with the plant underwater? When the light is off, we can't make the ATP in step 1, so we can't power step 2. So you need step 1 to do step 2. Go to slide 13, honey. We got 3 names for the same thing. Calvin cycle, dark reactions, light independent reactions are all the same thing. And they are all happening here in the stroma. Ultimately, again, we're using things we created in step 1 to help step 2 to occur. So can you remind me, look at this, electrons. Mason, who's bringing the electrons to step 2? NADPH. Remember, he's an electron carrier. Let's connect those 2 words. Super. Go to slide 14. So I need you in blue to circle for me, what's our reactant here? Obviously, I know ATP and NADPH are energy sources in the sense that they're going to help this reaction to occur. Now I'm asking you, what am I actually messing with? What's going into this reaction that I'm going to do some things to and make some intermediates and ultimately make my product? Mackenzie, what should I circle in blue? Very good. Hey, in step 1, we use light, we use water. And there are 3 reactants in photosynthesis: light, water, and carbon dioxide. Well, this is where the carbon dioxide comes to play. Everybody circle that in blue. So in the Calvin cycle, dark reactions, light independent reactions, I'm going to do a bunch of things to that carbon dioxide. Using the energy from step 1 to make what? What should I circle in red Roman that comes out as a product? What am I making in the Calvin cycle that comes out as a product? No, you are so right. I'm going to make NADP plus in the sense that I'm taking the electrons off and I'm going to send that empty bus back to step 1. I'm also going to send the empty battery, the dead battery, back to step 1. But what is actually being made is a product that's coming out of this cycle and not just going back to step 1. Glucose. Everybody right now circle glucose. We did it! We made sugar! That's the whole point of photosynthesis. So we accomplished our goal, and that's why there's no step 3. We're done. Unlike respiration, we did what we needed to do in 2 steps. Everybody go to slide 15. So let's label this picture. If you guys were going to tell me which side of this chloroplast shows you the light dependent reactions versus light independent reactions, I want you to move your little sticky notes. If you want it to be in front of the picture, you just have to click these 3 dots and click order and click bring to front. I don't really care if it's next to it or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Move your sticky notes. Lorelai, what did you put on the left side where there's those thylakoids and oxygen coming out? Oh, because do you see the light right there? I see light going in, therefore it's dependent on light, and therefore it's the light dependent reactions. And then this one over here, we're going to call light independent reaction because I don't see any light going into that one. Okay, my sticky notes should be on there. Go to slide 16. I'm asking you a question, meaning circle one of these. 16 says, what step of photosynthesis actually makes me sugar? Which step? Pick one for me, Dulcie. Light independent. Did someone knock? No? Okay, I'm hearing things. She said light independent reactions. Very good. Amazing. Let's just add a little something, something. That's a great name for the exact same thing as, what was another name for the light independent reactions? What else could we call it? Mackenzie, what else could we call it? Dark reactions. Excellent. That's also the dark reactions. Please don't be fooled. That doesn't mean it has to happen in the dark. It simply means light is not required. Okay, so we got dark reactions. There's my arrow. Let's do another one. There's 3 names for the same process. Dulcie, what's the third one? Thank you so much. That good old Calvin helped us figure this out. Should be the Culp cycle, in my opinion. Calvin cycle. Gorgeous. Everybody, slide 16 should look like mine. Let's go to 17. It is time for woo! Keystone question. Everybody, look at this question. If you don't want to answer, don't. But I need you to pick one in your mind. Which statement describes what occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast? Oxygen is released, carbon dioxide reacts, water molecules split, or chlorophyll absorbs energy. Take a second. Pick one. Nala, what are you picking? Okay. I got one for that. Shea, agree or disagree? She's going with that. Okay. All right. Amelia? She also going with B. Ooh, 2-1. Interesting. All right. Was anyone going to pick C? Oh, awkward. Okay. Just get rid of it. Anybody going to pick D? Okay, let's get rid of it. Huh. Question. Which step occurs in the stroma? Which step, Dulcie? The light dependent. So is the stroma the green discs or is the stroma the fluid? Is the fluid one. Is the fluid filled with chlorophyll? Is it? No, it's like clear fluid, right? The thylakoids were green, full of chlorophyll. So can the fluid part absorb light? If it doesn't have chlorophyll? No. So what reaction actually takes place in the stroma? What one, Amelia? Hold on, let's come back to that. I'm saying which step? You're right, the Calvin cycle. So be careful real quick. That's light independent, right? So she told me the Calvin cycle happens there. Do I make oxygen in the Calvin cycle? No, I do that in step 1. So guys, B is the answer. I want you to pick that. I feel like, Nyla, you said B, right? Okay, I'm going to go underhand. Are you ready? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, girls. So sorry. And then you said B. I'm sorry, Mason. Did you say something?
I could have easily thought that.
Mason, do you want to be on my band from Candy List?
I don't think I've even eaten it. Well, I've been Jolly Rancher once.
You had one Jolly Rancher? What about a Dum Dum?
I gave that one away.
Okay, that hurts. But that's fine. Go to slide 18. Darling Angel, let's try this one. Ooh, it's a little tricky.
So you hate cherry.
I do?
Yeah, I was giving it away to someone.
I love cherry.
Charity.
Oh. No, but like you could have just given it back and said no thank you. Which is the difference between photosynthesis and cellular respiration? Photosynthesis can produce glucose without oxygen. Photosynthesis occurs only in plants and respiration only in animals. Cellular respiration stores energy, but photosynthesis releases it. Or cellular respiration releases oxygen, and photosynthesis releases carbon dioxide. Okay, I'm not going to lie, this might have tripped some people up, but not you. What are you going to pick? Pick something. What do you pick, Jayla? She's going with C. Okay. Cellular respiration stores energy, and photosynthesis releases it. How about you, Dulce? Did you say A as an apple? Okay. How about you, Bianca? Is that a question or a statement? She's going with A. She's confident. Here we go. All right. How about anyone that was going to pick B? No one? Okay. It says photosynthesis occurs only in plants and respiration only in animals. Is that true that cellular respiration only happens in animals? No. Everybody does that, including plants. Let's get rid of B. All right. Anyone going to pick D? Cellular respiration releases oxygen. Is that true? Do you guys make oxygen? Nope. No, you don't. Let's get rid of D. So it's either A or C. Show of hands. Let's just do like a poll. Who's going to pick C? Okay. We got a couple. All right. How about A? I already had 2. Ooh. Looks like we're like split. So I got to tell you, those are the 2 ones that I would say, yeah, they make the most sense. However, let's break this down real quick. Photosynthesis can produce glucose without oxygen. Does photosynthesis make sugar? Does it? Yes, it does. Do you need oxygen to do that? You don't need oxygen. C says cellular respiration stores energy. But in cellular respiration, you're converting the energy that's in glucose. We're releasing that and storing it in ATP molecules. And in photosynthesis, we're converting energy from the sun and storing it in glucose. So C doesn't work. A is the answer. A is the answer. And I had Bianca. Got it? Ready? 1. Oh, wait. I'm going to go underhand so I don't blind you. Okay. Right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Dulce. Okay. You guys can trade me. Sorry. All right, babies. Let's try this one. 19. Last one. Huh. Which pair of compounds are both products of photosynthesis? Now, if I give you candy, are you going to give it away or?
I'll leave it on.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. Mace, who were you going to pick, sweetheart?
B.
He said B. Oxygen and glucose. I saw another hand. Elena, what were you going to pick? B. So, do plants make oxygen for us? Yeah, they do. Do they make sugar? Well, that's the whole doggone point. Everybody pick B. Were you? Did you raise your hand? Did you? Sorry. Didn't see that. Ready? Sorry. Wow. Sorry. I felt like that kind of hit you. Could you maybe pass one to the pretty girl behind you? Because I feel as though I'm going to hit someone.
I got butter.
And you're going to blame. No, that's definitely my fault. Let's be real. Okay. It's fine. I could give it to her. You don't have to get up. That's sweet of you, though. Thank you. Everybody go to slide 20. Look at this sucker. Huh. I want to move those words to the appropriate location in this image. This is photosynthesis. So what's happening? First of all, I already labeled for you that we are in the chloroplast. That's where we're at. And I labeled the 2 different parts, either the thylakoids, that stack of green discs, or my stroma, which is the fluid. So somebody tell me, look at number 6 right here. Do you see that in the green stacks? What step should I move there? I'm asking you to move the words. Jack, what should I move there, honey? Excellent. Everybody move this that says light reactions to there. All right. You don't have to write anything. You're just moving that right now. Okay. So then what should I put at 11? What's in the stroma? What's happening there? Amelia. Yeah, baby. Move that over there. Hey, I wrote Calvin cycle because it was short and I knew I had to squeeze it in that picture. Can you tell me another thing I could have written besides Calvin cycle, Elena? Oh, the dark reactions, because I don't need light. What's another name, Fiona, besides the dark reactions? Or Calvin cycle? Light independent. You don't need no light. You got it. Hey, babies, we know which step is which, so let's talk about what's going in there. Look at number 1. Can you tell me something that goes in there, Bianca? Oh, we need light. Well, that just makes sense. It's a light reaction. Light dependent. What else? Look at number 2. Amelia. Oh, I got to split that water in order to get those electrons, some H+ ions, and make some stuff to send to the next step. Amazing. Let's go scroll down to 13. When we split water, something is going to be released here. Can you tell me, Lorelai, what goes down there, honey? This is where I make oxygen. There are only 2 products of photosynthesis. Oxygen's 1. And that's what I make in step 1. Now, there are other things that I make here, but I'm going to send them to the next step. So somebody tell me what's something I make in the light reactions that I'm going to use in step 2, Shaya. Very good. Let's move ATP. I think it's number 9. Can't really see. Yeah. ATP. Really good. Okay, I'm going to send the ATP to the Calvin cycle. We're going to use the energy from ATP in order to convert something a bunch of times in a bunch of different reactions. What goes into step 2? Right where there's a number 3, Nyla. What should I put, honey? I got to take in some carbon dioxide. OMG. Everybody look. There's 3 reactants in our equation for photosynthesis. There they are at the top. And since there's 2 products, we already know what the last thing is. Let's put glucose down here. And my 2 products that come out are the things that Mason just told me in Elena. Oxygen and glucose. Uh-oh, don't turn it in. I'm missing something. What else do I send to step 2 to help that process to occur? What should I write? It's number 10. What should I be writing? What do you think, Elena? NADPH. You are perfect. What is NADPH? Like, what is it? Jayla? It's electron carrier. He is Ned's twin brother, who also drives a bus. NADH, NADPH. Now we're done. Everybody, right down here at the bottom corner, let's put a little star, and I want you to use one word to describe Miss Culp. I'm going to go with perfect. You write whatever you want, but I will be grading that for accuracy. Okay? All right, babies, turn it in. You better be careful, Mr. Mooney. Okay? And hates charity is 2 words. Let's turn this sucker in. We're done with it.